Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Star Nations Organization's main fan page here at Facebook, where I do a daily or nearly daily live stream around the divination card or the oracle card that I draw in the morning. And that card really is about starting a spiritual conversation. And I just need to turn down the sound on my iPad. And so today's Friday. Yay! Weekend's almost here. Today is February 8th, Friday, February 8th, and it's actually very, very cold out, but we have blue skies and sunshine. And so all the snow that we got yesterday is all kind of sparkly and glistening. And it's pretty light snow, pretty fluffy. And yeah, looks really pretty outside. And for those who were wondering about George, he is better. I did take him to the vet yesterday morning, and we do have some antibiotic to give him. Dang, I know, but sometimes we got to do that, right? Those antibiotics. I'm just trying to get him to take it and keep it down. He actually has had a few doses, I think 3, maybe 4 doses. And he's kept down 2. So, but he's feeling better this morning. He's more playful. He wants to be outside, and he actually ate a little bit, and kept it down. Yay! So I think we're on the right track here, and so he's getting better. He's not up here in the room with me yet. I hear him downstairs. And as you can tell, I am broadcasting from the meditation room again here at my home. Yeah, with George being sick, I just, it would just be easier just to be here in case I needed to do stuff for him. But we should be broadcasting back up at the academy this weekend. And so, yeah, things are getting back to normal a little bit, whatever normal is, right? You got to put that in air quotes. Hey, Julie Shumway Hill is with us. Hello, Julie. Good to have you in the chat always. Hello, Valerie. Good to have you here as well. And Rochelle is here too. Rochelle says, hello, everyone. Chose not to go to PT again. The roads are ice. Well, sometimes we have to make those kind of decisions, right? Yeah. I know. Although sometimes we're looking forward to something and we take the chance. And thank you for sharing and reminding me to share, Rochelle. I appreciate that. And I'm going to do that right now, in fact. Whoops. Got to get to the page. And what Rochelle is referring to is, for those who might be new to this, is that what we do is we ask our audience to share and like the live stream. And the reason being is that it helps us to be in the newsfeed more often. And we know that Facebook really, really likes, shares, and comments. And in order to, for people to be able to find us, right? For those people who are searching for spiritual information, social media, we're dealing with it every single day. Is that there's so much information coming out from everywhere that it's easy for your information to be buried under a whole ton of other information. And so any little help that we can get to be in the news feed a little bit more often, more visible, is always helpful. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I am going to be sharing it with my friends on my personal feed so that they know that I'm live streaming. Afternoon, and we're going to call it a little bit different. Talk show. Please join me. There we go. All right, there. I added something a little bit different today. It took me a little bit longer making sure I was spelling correctly. So, the keys on the phones, right? They're so little. It's so easy to misspell something or to have autocorrect correct something that you really meant to spell it that way. And it turns out to be your sentence completely different than what you thought it was going to be. Yep. All right. Rochelle says, I continue seeing triple numbers, twos and two, threes, 3 times a day. Yeah. Which ones are you seeing, Rochelle? Which ones? Because I saw one this afternoon. I saw 111, which is the flow of energy, right? The flow of energy. That's what 111 is. I'm going to get my list up. It says the energy flow, any energy flowing, such as electricity, money, water, etc. So, you just have to ask your spiritual team, which kind of energy is flowing right now. I'm asking them right now. They're telling me financial. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah. And I think what they might be referring to is the drum making workshop. Yeah. I think we have one slot open for the May 18th drum making workshop in Lyons, Michigan at Minnie Kansman's home. I'll be doing a workshop there. I haven't taught drum making in a while because I haven't been able to travel. And so one of my brothers is going to be here with our mother, so I can go and do that. And so that's what they're referring to. So it's like, yay. So I think we have one more slot open because somebody just contacted me this afternoon, and it was actually before lunchtime, asking me for a mailing address because she's going to send a check. So Rochelle is saying she sees 111-222-333-444-555 and also 1212. Yeah, 1212 obviously isn't a triple number, but that's got its own significance, right? 1212. Yeah. And Julie says that she's seen 888s, 333s, and 111s. Wow, you guys are really seeing a lot of triple numbers. Holy smokes. And 555s. She's adding 555s to that. So it's a good thing you have that sheet that I shared with you guys, because you can download it and print it. Just click on the picture and you can download the picture and you can print it out, and that way you have the information. Now and that's just one of many different what triple numbers mean. I mean, you can also do. I'm looking at my books here. I think it's Doreen Virtue. Oh, I don't see it. It could be downstairs. It could be downstairs in my office downstairs. Doreen Virtue's angel numbers. Yeah, that's got some good information in it too about triple numbers. So, so the sheet that I gave you, that I shared with you, is from Alice Bailey, and that's just one source of information that if it resonates with you with the triple numbers, my suggestion is I just put it in my phone. I took a while for me to do this, but I just copied and pasted into my notes and put it in my phone. So, of course, I don't know if you have an iPhone. I think Rochelle's got an Android, if I remember right. So 222s is a new cycle, the beginning of a new cycle, the nature of which depends on the next triple number you see. So, and the 333 is that you have a decision to make. The decision will lead to either a 666, which means you must repeat the lesson again in some other way, or a 999, which means that you completed the life lesson, that you learned it. I like those 999s. Those 666, like, dang, okay, all right, but help me to do this one, to finish it up. Let's see. And then you had 444s. The mystery school, what's occurring in your life is a lesson learning, which is a reading, book, study, or you know what? I can probably just hang on. Let me get my album up, my photo album, and we'll get the picture up here. And that way you guys can see it. Yeah, I know it's kind of small, but you'll be able to follow along a bit. So the mystery school, what's occurring in life is a lesson learning, such as reading books or studying a subject, but not actually doing. And the 555s is unity consciousness. This is the number when someone has attained unity consciousness. They have mastered all levels of a mystery school. It's the highest number. It's the number of Christ, the Christ consciousness. Yeah. And Julie had 888. And that's a completion of a particular lesson within the mystery school. Yeah, so you guys had some good numbers there. All right. So if for those that would like to have those numbers as a resource, you can just click on the picture at my my personal timeline and download it, and that way you have it. Yeah. Rochelle says, yes, I Googled it. Have a Galaxy 9. Yeah. Well, yeah, there's no reason to Google the numbers. I gave them to you. All you have to do is download it. Easy peasy, as they say. Okay. So yeah, it was really kind of weird. I was getting Mom's afternoon snack prepared for her before I came up here to do the show, and I just got in front of the stove to turn on the stove to heat the water, and the triple ones came up. And so that's what I was thinking about was you guys, and thinking, oh yeah, we got triple numbers again, triple numbers. Yeah, I haven't seen one in a while. So triple ones is good. Flow of energy, financial energy, that's always good. That's always good. Yeah. All right. So okay, I shared about George. So he's doing well. I think he's sleeping downstairs. I don't hear him. Which can be a good thing or a bad thing. With a 7-month-old puppy. He'll be 7 months old on the 13th, which is what, in it's like 5 days. 5 days. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Andrea just popped in. Hello, Andrea. You just popped in. Good. You didn't miss much. All right. Here's the question of the day. You guys know what it is, right? How many people have grounded today? How many people remember to ground? Judy just came in too. Hello, Judy. I just asked the famous question. Have you grounded today? I certainly did. Of course, I have my Merkaba, so that's a constant. But yeah, it's a busy morning. We're so darn close to finishing up for publishing the February issue of Star Nations magazine. We're actually a few days ahead of schedule because I was supposed to be out of town on Saturday. Remember? With George sick, we canceled that because I didn't know how he was going to respond to the medication. And so I was trying to get the magazine completely done by this afternoon, early evening, so that when I got back on Saturday, I wouldn't have anything to do with the magazine and we'd publish on Sunday, which is the 10th. And so we're actually a few days ahead of schedule. It's kind of nice, actually. Kind of nice. And Esperanza is here too. Hello, Esperanza. Namaste to you too. Oh, you're right. Namaste. Uh-oh, Rochelle. And Esperanza says she did. Yay. And Andrea says, does a hot bath count? I always feel so grounded after a hot bath. Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes, because depending on what you used in your bath water, it could be grounding if you used like sea salt or bath salts or something like that. That could be, yes. But if it was just water, unless it was a really clear intention that's what you were doing, maybe not. Maybe not. Because you'd be asking the spirit of water to help you to ground. Yeah. And if you didn't do that, then you're just in water. Still feels good, but you're still just in water. Yeah. Yeah, and the caveat, don't you like that name? That word, caveat? The caveat here is that we're doing it consciously. You're consciously grounding to Grandmother Earth. Yeah. Yeah. Consciously. Makes a big difference. Huge difference. A huge difference in your life, but a huge difference in the energy field around you. because you affect everything, right? And so when we're grounded and centered and protected, yeah, then the energy field around us is stable and grounded, right? Things shift and change when we're that way. You could even walk into Walmart, not even do a thing, nothing. Just walk in as a grounded person, and you start shifting the energy around you at Walmart. It's kind of fun to watch, actually. Try it once. Try it. Okay, let's see. Judy says she shoveled the steps. Well, good for you. That's nice. And she says, love being outside. Yeah, me too. Even in the brisk weather, I like to step out just for a moment. Andrea says, oh, interesting. Never thought of that. Maybe I just feel relaxed. You do. And it's good. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's just that you're not consciously grounding to Grandmother Earth. And water, in my belief system, is her blood, right? And so when you call on the spirit of water to wash your bodies, plural, clean, all four of your bodies, or more than that, if you believe in dimensionality, gotta slow down. But if you consciously make the request to the spirit of water to help you ground, yeah. Consciously ask. You're welcome, Andrea. You're welcome. Because that's part of a morning ritual, right? For me, is especially before I had my activated Merkaba, is that I would be asking the spirit of water, connecting with the spirit of water, and asking the spirit of water to help me by washing away any lower vibrational energies, right, that might be attached to me or around me, and helping me to ground to Grandmother Earth. It's her blood. So, and the other thing you can do is drink water too. That can be very helpful in grounding. Yeah. Hey, thank you, Judy. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate that. Julie is saying, I have grounded. I was petting my dogs yesterday and consciously thought of it as grounding through my four-legged. That'll do it too. That will. And you might want to make sure that you're connecting with your four-legged, with your dog, and consciously. Number one, asking them if they're willing to help you to do that. That's just being nice. It'd be kind of like walking up to somebody that you know fairly well or pretty well, and actually maybe standing really close to them because they're grounded, and you're just kind of tapping into their energy. Chances are they'd be okay with it because they know you, but then again, maybe they're depleted. Maybe they're ungrounded. Maybe they didn't do their grounding. I don't know. But it's always nice to ask. Even if you're outside and you're going to be using a tree to ground, that's okay. That's great. Just ask, if they're willing to help you to do that. It's just being respectful, I guess, is a good word. Yeah. So it's good stuff. And when George was sick, and technically he still is. He's not quite out of the woods yet. And I was giving him energy healing, right? I asked him first, and I asked his higher self, because sometimes whatever we're going through is for our highest good. And if you go into because you think you know better, right? I'll do this for them. Is that you're interfering with someone else's spiritual growth, even a four-legged. So I connected with George's higher self and asked if it was if they would like to have some assistance. And if so, I'd be happy to do that for Georgie. And I got a definite yes. So I was able to do that, but I didn't want to do it if this was part of his soul path, even though he's 7 months old, and you just really don't want to see them going through that. It's hard, right? Yeah, so just asking is a big thing. I guess that's what it means to be living your life consciously, right? Yeah. Oh, Stephanie, you make me smile. Thank you for putting the information in there. It is always good that we have that written information in there, because that way people who are watching, they can always go back and take a look at it again. Or if you're brand new to watching the live streams, you have an idea of what this show is about then, and it's all there, right there in writing. So thank you, Stephanie, for doing that. And I may as well show, now that I have it. This is the deck that we're currently using, the Druid Animal Oracle by Philip and Stephanie Cargome, and illustrated by Bill Worthington. Bill Worthington. Yeah. It's obviously from a Druid perspective, and it's actually very educational, I'm finding. I'm learning a lot from the Druid perspective about what I would call power animals. Yeah. It was published in 1996. On the cover, it says, "Working with the sacred animals of the Druid tradition." Yeah. So I'm learning quite a bit. I don't know about you guys. At least learning a little bit about the Gaelic language, too. There's 33 cards in the deck. In the book also has the illustrations in it, of course, and the meaning of each of the animals, the interpretation of it. Yeah. So today's card is Frog. Frog. Pull back just a little bit so you can get the whole picture in there. All right. Gotta push up my glasses. All right. And so let's start at the top. So, of course, what do we see? We see mushrooms, right? And other vegetation. Frog. It's got 1 foot in the water, 1 foot in the water, and he has 3 on land. And over in the corner are tadpoles. Well, they're not, I don't think they're really tadpoles yet, right? They're not tadpoles until after they're actually hatched. Frogs. Amphibian. Yeah. So how many people in the chat have frog as a totem animal? Interesting. Oh, and Pat says, I love this deck. So do I. I do too. Got to be thankful to Mervyn Kelly for sending it to me. Yeah. And thank you. Stephanie also has the link to Amazon.com that if you're looking at purchasing that deck, this deck, I think he has another one, if I remember right. And Mervyn was saying something about they have another deck too. I'm just scrolling here to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Nope, I didn't. Good. All right. So the question was, how many people in the live chat have frog as their power animal or their birth totem? And Speranza says that she doesn't know. I don't know. Okay. All right. When you see a certain type of animal multiple times, and they just come into your life, right? Chances are those are power animals. In my belief system, the totems are birth totems, and those are with you your entire life, the entire time. The power animals kind of come and go. They're with you for a certain amount of time to help you to learn whatever life lesson that you're working on. And then when you complete that life lesson, then they move on. They move on. Yeah. And I always had to get the question, can you have more than one? Oh, yes. Power animals, you can have multiples, and you can have multiples of the a birth totem too, because you have a main birth totem animal, but you may have other secondaries as well that are with you your entire life. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Their other deck is Druid Craft Tarot. Thank you, Julie. That's right. Julie Hedges said that she was going to look into that, right? And Andrea says, love the way the frog is looking up at the sky. Me too. Me too. And Mervyn is saying, yes, there is a Druid plant oracle as well. Wow. That would be interesting too. All right. Esperanza says squirrel, dragonfly, bees, deer, and mice. Oh, so you have several. Several. Yeah, and just looking at them, squirrel, bees, and mice. Yeah. Squirrels, bees, mice is, a lot of that has to do with looking at the details, right? The details. Yeah, and storing information. Yeah. And Judy is how do you find our birth totem? Well, there's several different ways, Judy. One is you can actually ask for it to come to you in a dream. Or what you can do is there's lots of different resources out there on the internet. It's kind of like astrology in a way. I've used, what's his name? Kenneth Meadows has a good book about the medicine wheel. And in there he has the layers of the medicine wheel from his perspective. And in that, he also has the birth totems listed there. So, but you can also, you can just Google it too, because all that information is so much easier to get than it was back in the 90s before the internet, right? Before the internet, which was, I think, 1996, if I remember right. All right. Oh, good. Thank you, Stephanie. She says, frog totem link 1. Could you see about a power animal too? Yeah. And oh, good. Yeah, I forgot. Polly Joe had done that. Polly Joe has a really good meditation to bring them in so that you can tell which one, what power animals and totems that you have within your chakra system. Because each chakra has a unique relationship to the animal kingdom. Yeah. Perfect. So let's take a look at that card again. So when you were looking at the card, the first time you saw the card, what caught your eye first? What drew you in? What drew you in? When I first saw the card this morning, I always ask myself, so what do I know about this without opening the book yet, right? And what do I know about frog? And I know that frog lives both on land and water. And even though it might not look like there's water around, chances are you're pretty close to the water table or underground water. And I also know that they represent the in between. They're in between the land and the water because they can live on both, right? And you also have balance again. If you notice, the last 3 cards we've gotten have all had water and land and earth connected. The last 3 cards. Yeah. Otter, swan, and now frog. Mm-hmm. And so with frog, I think of, because there's lots of different kinds of frogs. in the springtime when the frogs are singing, the tree frogs, um, when I was a kid, you'd have the windows open. And that's what I fell asleep to most nights was the tree frogs singing. Um, and so that kind of reminds me of those kinds of memories. And I remember when we were trying to catch them because they're fast. They're fast, and if you can catch a frog, you're even faster, right? Um, yeah. And so, because they're also connected to water, they're connected to emotion too. That representation, that symbology. And I don't know, there stereotypes, okay? Stereotypes. Kissing a frog and there's a prince, right? We're talking about fairy tales and the stereotype for the frog. And our stereotype of a witch, right, is that they would use parts of frogs in their cauldron, and yeah, and so the magic, the power, the spirit of the frog used in spells. All right, so in the background, it'd be, I don't know, just opposite the mushrooms. Does anybody else see a face in that bush, in that tree? That was the second thing I saw. Yeah. And I was just looking at, there's also the plant over there with the red berry on it. There's a lot in this card, that's for sure. Oh, and I had a question for Mervyn too. Mervyn, if you're still in the house, you had told us that the message, there's a message in the edging on the cards. Is it the same message for each of the cards? I think it was the ancient ones sing to, was it the ancient ones? Or was it the elders? The elders sing to the children. Songs, the elders sings, or the elders songs? The elders sing to the children, or the ancient ones sing to the children? Something like that. If you could write that in the comment again, just I want to make sure I get that right. And is it the same message in every card? Because I was thinking it was, but I could be wrong. Okay. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Got to scroll a little bit. All right. Mervyn is saying, Will Worthington also illustrated The Wildwood Tarot, authored by Mark Ryan and John Matthews. Oh, well, I like his artistry, that's for sure. And Stephanie's saying, Froggy in the Tweens. Yeah, that's it. I want to put this one up too, so you guys get the names. Rochelle says the frog's right leg in the water, but 3 toes was resting on a rock. Oh, yeah. So it's still above the water line. It's still on the earth. Good catch, Rochelle. Good eye. Esperanza is saying, wow. And Mervyn is saying, yes, it is. The songs of our ancestors are the songs of our children. Thank you for putting it in there, because I knew it was something like that. The songs of our ancestors are the songs of our children. I like that a lot. All right. So let's find out what Philip and Stephanie say about frog. You got to get the pronunciation of frog in Gaelic. So frog is in English, and it's Losgann. Losgann is the Gaelic. It's Losgann. Doesn't look like it at all, does it? Losgann. Losgann is the Gaelic word for frog. And the words that are used to symbolize is sensitivity, medicine, hidden beauty, and power. Okay. And he writes, oops, I'm going to move back just a tad there. There we go. He writes, the card shows a common frog crawling from a pool in which lies frog spawn, traditionally considered a powerful medicine. To the right grows mulig, or frogberry, now known as cranberry, and frog spindle, or orchid. To the left, beneath the hanging willow leaves, grow toadstool mushrooms, which were once called frog stool. And I still say there's a face in the background. Lips, nose, 2 eyes, eyebrow, and an ear. And maybe even a conical hat. So maybe it's a gnome. Maybe. And the bush the tree to its right. I don't know. It could be another face in there. Kind of reminds me of a bear. I don't know. There's a lot going on in this. Maybe it's the because it's about the in between that we get to see some of the nature spirits in the background. Yeah, I do too, Rochelle. She says I see a few faces. Yeah, and so does Pat. Yeah. All right. So he goes on to say that Losgann unites the element of water and earth, bringing joy, delight, and healing in its singing and hopping, and leading you to the sacred spring from which you may be refreshed and renewed. A cold-blooded creature living half on the land and half in the water, the frog possesses an extremely sensitive skin, considered magical by shamans. A champion of the rain spirits, the frog can help you develop your sensitivity to others, to healing and to sound through your skin and your whole body and aura. Well, that's pretty interesting, isn't it? Because our skin is our largest organ that we have, and it's really sensitive. It's very sensitive to touch and to heat. Yeah, that's very interesting. It says nothing is what it appears to be, and life is more fun than you at first supposed. There is a hidden beauty and a hidden power in all of nature, and as you open yourself to this, you will feel close to the goddess and close to both the earth and to the water. Look for the beauty and the magic behind appearances. So maybe that's why we're seeing those faces in the background, in the bushes and in the trees. Because there's more there than what meets the eye. And so that red berry over there is, I got to get my camera to focus. That red berry over there is cranberry. Medicinal purposes, right? About the kidneys. And we also have orchid. And of course, the mushrooms. Were originally frog stool, not toadstool, but frog stool. Interesting. And then down at the bottom, more medicine in the, what's it called? Frog spawn. Frog spawn. So they're not tadpoles yet. Frog spawn. It's hard to say. Got to slow down. Okay, so he goes on to say, now I did not get this card in reverse. It did not come in the reverse. But this is what's said about the reversal. It says this card suggests that you're learning how to embrace difficult circumstances. The frog that you must marry may well turn out to be a prince. The circumstances you have chosen to accept, while apparently unappealing or difficult, may well bring you rich rewards in the end. Remember that the frog brings medicine, and medicine brings healing. And when I read that, I thought, I don't care it didn't come in the reverse. That last line is really, really, really strong. Remember that the frog brings medicine, and medicine brings healing. Yeah. Julie says she can see the gnome. Yeah, me too. That little gnome. Philip writes that water is considered sacred by the Druids, and every river, spring, and well had its guardian spirit or deity. He goes on to say that, let's see. I got to go back. Ways here. It's as animals that are seated in pools and which frequent them when grown, they were sometimes considered as representatives of the water spirits. There's an ancient healing spring, Acted Barnet in Shropshire. I didn't pronounce that correctly. I know I didn't. It says that it was said that the spirits of the well would appear as three frogs. It was said that the spirits of the well, the largest of the three was always to be dressed as the dark god. His darkness is related to the fact that both frog and toad were seen as creatures in contact with the underworld. For this reason, in the popular imagination, they became associated with witchcraft and potion brewing. The toad or frog is often the witch's familiar who would croak warnings of danger to its mistress, and the toad was reputed to be a common ingredient in witches' brews. So both these associations point to deeper truths. The witch or the ovid, the druid equivalent as a healer or seer. The frog is an ally who brings blessings of the water spirits. Isn't that something though? Because, is it Andrea? Who said that they did their bath? Was it Judy? I got to scroll backwards. About taking a bath. And I said, it's good, but, asking the water spirit, the spirit of water to come and help you. And here it is in the book. That is not a coincidence. Not a coincidence at all. It was Andrea. I had to scroll really far back. That was Andrea. And so, it's no coincidence, right? It's a synchronicity that we would be talking about water spirits. And here they're pretty strong in this card. The water spirits. The frog also brings its own medicine and was seen as a healing messenger of the mother goddess. Its ashes were supposed to prevent hemorrhaging. Its spawn was considered to cure rheumatism and inflammatory diseases. Far from being considered a poisonous ingredient of brews, we can see that the frog and toad were medicine in the old days, bringing healing in a subtle way through their connection to the water sprites, in an intangible way through their physical properties. Yeah. And so, he doesn't write anything about emotions with this, but that much connection to water has got to have a lot of connection to emotions. And so how can frog help us with that? Because, I'm always talking about being consciously aware and and doing your healing work, being aware of when you need to do that next layer of trauma healing, whether it's a mental or emotional trauma. And so with this particular card, I'd like to say that we have, again, the opportunity to tap into the medicine of the frog, to help us heal those emotional traumas, to look at it. And, and the fact that there's a lot more going on than what meets the eye. So you may start out with the healing as one thing, and it turns out to be something completely different, that you weren't aware, that underneath that first layer there was more under there. Or maybe even there was something more of a surprise to you under there, because it's going deeper and going beyond, right? Going beyond. And that's what I call about going to the root of whatever it is that we're healing. Because if we can get to the root of it, we have big soul growth attached to that. And I know it's not easy. I know that. Been there, done that, and we'll probably continue to do it. And to be able to achieve, my goal is to resonate as close as possible to my original vibration, my soul song, right? And so there's got to be a lot of work to it, a lot of layers. So it's perhaps this card is helping us to see that what does Philip say? He said that these oracle cards are not about telling the future. It's about helping us in the present, and making decisions and creating the kind of future that we would like to see, like to be able to be in. And so what do we do today to be able to create that best life, right? And perhaps the medicine of frog is about being aware of our emotional healing that affects our physical body, and to look deeper, to go deeper, because there's more to it than what meets the eye. Isn't that usually the way, though? You think you're working on one thing, and then all of a sudden it's like a chain reaction. Hey, good one, Steph. Good one. She put the information about the cranberries in there. Where I live in Tomah, Wisconsin, the tagline for our community is we're the gateway to cranberry country. Gateway to cranberry country. We have all kinds of bogs around us. And the gateway is a portal, right? It's a doorway. When I saw that when we first moved up here, I thought, of course. And at the time, Rochelle, I was having a thing about 12. Everywhere I looked was 12. 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. Or it was backwards, 21. And what intersection is near my home but 12 and 21? There's synchronicities left and right. And for me, a lot of that was the 12-strand DNA. That's why I was seeing 12 all the time. And I had just finished up the work for myself just before we moved up here. And once we moved up here, I started teaching the classes around it. So, yeah. All right. So Rochelle says, I really appreciate the time you take in informing us about different aspects of life, looking at it in a more healthy manner. Oh, well, you're welcome. You're welcome, Rochelle. And to tell you the truth, Rochelle, that's more about my guides. Because this is how I usually start every show before I hit broadcast start, is I call my entire team in, and I ask them to be here with me, and to help me to express what needs to be expressed for the highest good, and to help me to have courage to say the things that needs to be said for the highest good, for those souls who'll be watching and listening for this information. So I don't know what the information is before we start. I never do. And so it really is connecting with them and them helping me to express what needs to be expressed. And Andrea is saying water connects us so much and carries energy. Interesting how we are mostly made of water. I know, I thought the same thing, Andrea. I did. If we're looking at Grandmother Earth, right? What is she? 85%, 90% water on the surface, right? Well, actually, no, both. Below and above. It's a lot. The content is a lot. And when we're hydrated, we match her, right? And I know I thought the same thing, Andrea. The same thing. Oops. I'm going to do that. Stephanie is saying 1840 keeps showing up in my world. 1840. 1840. I wonder what happened in the year 1840 for you, Stephanie. Wouldn't that be interesting to find out? Or you can do the regression for the stars to find out what the constellations were doing at that time as well. Of course, then there's past life regression. 1840. Yeah. European time or military time, that's what, 640. Numerology, let's see, that's 12, that's 13, that's a 4. Yeah, that's a 4. Interesting. Huh. 1840. Yeah. Yeah, the underlying piece is that 4. But it would be really interesting to find out what happened in history in 1840. Because whatever it is, it affected you in that lifetime. Whatever that is. Interesting. Let us know if you do a little research, what happened in 1840 that resonated with you, that when you read it, you said, oh my God, that's it. Or you can feel it, right? All right. So the other thing that I was going to mention about water, as Andrea was saying, that, connects us so much and carries energy, is that one of the ways that I was taught to give tobacco is that when you're dealing with an emotional situation and you're trying to find a resolution to it and you're praying about it, right? And you're giving tobacco for help, is to put it in water because it's about emotion. Or if you want a message to go out to the entire world, is to put the tobacco offering in a moving water, like in a river. And because all the water eventually makes it all the way around the world, and to be able to get that information or that message, that prayer out to the entire world through the tobacco, you can use the waterways. I think that is so, I find it fascinating. And I have given tobacco in that way, especially when there's a lot of emotions running. Yeah. And you can't seem to get your footing, right? No matter what you do, it's like you feel like you're always kind of off balance, and you're so emotional. Your tears are right there at the surface. All somebody has to do is look at you in a certain way, and you're tearing up, right? Is to give tobacco and put it in water, yeah, for help. Stephanie, I will do some techno witchery. Okay, now I have to ask you, is that a term you just made up, or is there a real catchphrase of techno witchery? Because that's kind of cool. Okay, so let's pull this together for us, okay? Because the intention for the card draw is the energy that's most important for us to know about today for our highest good. So what is frog medicine bringing for us today? What is frog medicine bringing for us today? And whatever it was that resonated with you, that each one of us may have contributed to the conversation, is please embrace that and watch and see, sense, feel how the energy is unfolding for you today and where this information could be helpful for you or is helpful for you. You know, and you look at the different medicines that are in here, the frog medicine, you know, eating non-poisonous mushrooms is a good source of protein, right? All kinds of minerals in them. Cranberries are good for your urinary tract, right? I'm not sure about the orchid. We'd have to look that one up, right? And you know the frog spawn. They said that there was a big medicine in that, and so we'll have to take a closer look at that because it's in water, right? They're not hatched; those are ready to be hatched. It's about the creation process, isn't it? Possibly around that emotional thing, and also that there's more here than meets the eye. There's more underneath, and we see that in the background, in the different faces that we see of the elementals coming out. It's a way cool card. It's very cool. Yeah, let's see. Sunny Carr. Hi, Sunny. How are you? I'm doing pretty well. How are you? I live in Wisconsin. It's pretty cold here, but we're doing well. Mervyn says there were some characters on the science fiction show Babylon 5 called Techno Magus. Really? Huh. I just thought it was a cool term. Crystal says, this card reminds me somewhat of the major arcana of the star, with one foot in the water and the other out. Oh, that's interesting, Crystal. Very interesting. And Andrea saying, beautiful artwork and a wonderful card. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, we're near the top of the hour, aren't we? All right. So, like I said, you know, if something that was mentioned, that was said in our conversation, if it resonated with you, you know, it's just, I encourage you to embrace it and be aware, sense, feel, see how the energy is unfolding around you and where the information could be helpful to you, right? Yeah. And if it didn't resonate with you, don't worry about it. It's okay. You're not going to hurt anyone's feelings by saying, you know what, that just didn't do it for me. There's always tomorrow, and there's always tomorrow's card, right? And the information around that. Yeah. And so, what's going on with Star Nations, what we're looking forward to. Like I said, you know, we're so close to being finished with the work to publish the Star Nations magazine, the February issue. We publish on the 10th of every month. And so we're actually a couple of days ahead of time. And so we're going to be finishing, I would say, by late afternoon, early evening tonight. We're just doing the final testing of the magazine and it will be ready. So look for that on February 10th to be available to you. And then next week we have shows coming up, right? We have one thing that I know for sure that's going to change is Mervyn Kelly's show, which is usually the second Tuesday of every month, needs to move to the third Tuesday, the 19th. He's got some family stuff coming up that he needs to be available for on Tuesday, the second Tuesday. And so if you want to mark that in your calendars now, but we'll let you know, we'll remind you of that change. Polly Jola Bay will be back from vacation, and so she'll be live on Tuesday at noon with Chakra Sessions. And my show, Communications from Home, it's about the community, right? Communications from Home at 7 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. let's see, we're going to be talking about the Star Nations magazine that night. Maybe I can get some of the contributing writers to come on with me, and we'll have a nice discussion about their articles. And then Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern is Soul Connections with Polly Jola Bay. And so she'll be back doing that live healing meditation, and also the card draw. If you're interested in individual card draws, that's an evening that Polly Jo does that every week, every Wednesday night. Yeah, I think that's it for this coming week. That's enough, don't you think? That's a lot. That's a lot. And see, let's see. Wait, let me look at the calendar. I think next week, yep, on the 14th is a brand new show starting, and that is Life Wisdom with Ed Langdon. And he was my guest this past Tuesday, so if you got to get to know him a little bit better, his first show is this coming Thursday, the 14th, Valentine's Day, at 4 p.m. Eastern time, 4 p.m. Eastern. And hopefully you'll be able to join us for that one. That should be a good one. Yeah. All right. One last comment here we're going to show in the chat. Esperanza, she says, tobacco and a running water source is significant for me. Well, good. I'm glad that was helpful to you. I'm glad. All right. So enjoy the rest of your day today, this Friday, and we'll see you back here probably tomorrow. I was going to take tomorrow off, but I'm going to be home now. So I may as well be with you guys, right? At 2 p.m. Central, 3 Eastern for the daily live stream and the card draw. So enjoy the rest of your day, okay? Bama Mina, that's Potawatomi for until we see each other again. Love you guys.